Hello. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Jason. Can you guys hear me? Oh, I might have to unmute you. Sorry, guys.
You have to.
Lovely. You should be able now, everyone, to unmute yourself and turn your camera on. Feel free to do it. There you go. Now I can see some smiley faces. That's lovely. Welcome, everyone. Um, this is our training for the UKPN, which is the UK Power Network. Which Becky will be deliver. I'm gonna be looking up because Becky is sitting in front of me in the same room at the moment. So I just want to welcome everyone who is attending today. This session is recorded. So as I know, it's a Monday. A lot of people might not be able to attend today. Hopefully, we will be able to share the recording with other champions, and they might find it useful and bring a bit of clarity about what and how we can support clients out in the community. So if you don't want to be in the recording, feel free to turn your camera off. However, it's always nice to see the messages received, and please feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions. There should be some time at the end of the presentation where we can discuss things, but feel free to just ask as and when throughout the presentation. And how are we today?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Lovely. Not bad. It's a Monday. We just finished a meeting, so it's a bit of a rush. So I hope you hadn't had to wait too long. But yeah, no, it's really exciting. As we Becky will explain in a minute, but as Digital Kent, we've partnered with UKPN and SGN. So it is important that we highlight what this collaboration from a digital Kent point of view works, because and then it helps in providing their knowledge to other people as well, which could be the residents that we support, but family and friends and ourselves as well. Why not? Is something that we could all benefit from. Now I will have to mute myself, and if Becky is ready, I can let her start the presentation.
Yeah, you have to mute me as well. Gosh. Well, it's not very nice hearing your own voice back. It's like a robot. Hi everyone, I'm Becky. As I say, as Makoto said, I'm going to be presenting a little bit of information about the project we're working on with the UK Power Network and Southern Gas Network. I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of kind of different hints and tips that you might be able to share, obviously in your role as digital champions, but also within your role, sort of in your personal life as well. I have had to say this a few times across the team within Digital Kent. We are by no means expecting everyone to become an energy champion or an expert in energy or anything like that. It's just to get a little bit more information about what we're doing, and also where to signpost people. So I'm going to do a little bit of a whistle stop tour through my presentation. There's a couple of little videos in there, and if you've got any questions, if you can just let me know if anything pops up, because when I start sharing it, it won't show me. Or there'll be some time at the end for you to ask any questions. So I will quickly get my presentation up and running. Give me a second. Okay. Hang on. Why is it not working? Sorry, I've got a new laptop and I'm trying to make sense of it. That's because I'm using the wrong side of my mouse pad. There we go. See? Okay.
Brilliant.
1 second. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh gosh. I'm trying to change it so I can see the notes that I made. I don't know how to do it. I'm not sure. You're going to help me? I'm really sorry, guys. Is it for the notes? Is it so?
Oh.
No, it's not that, is it? I'm really glad this is being recorded. This is great.
Stop sharing.
Told you we were in the
Oh,
same
it's
room.
a new laptop. It's a complete different layout. It's
So yeah, normally I've got two screens, so it's not.
yeah.
It shows it differently. It's not the end of the world. I can probably remember what I wrote down in my notes. I just don't want to get any wrong information. Don't worry. That's fine. Have you got the presentation? Right, can everyone see that firstly? Is that sharing?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so as I say, my name is Becky Thomas. I'm a project officer within Digital Kent. I lead on the projects that are externally funded. So one of the projects, if you see my name around, I'm not sure if you would have, is the NHS. If you've done any work with the NHS before, I'm the person that leads on that project as well. And I'm leading on this project with UK Power Network and SGN. Okay, so I'm going to, this is a bit of an agenda of what we're going to go through. So obviously a little bit about what work we're doing with the UK Power Network, a little bit about what energy efficiency is, some tips and tricks to save energy and therefore money at home, income maximisation, a little bit about the Priority Service Register in case you're not aware of it. That's one of the, I'll get to it obviously, but that's one of the key things that I think we could really support people with, because a lot of people don't know what it is. And a lot of the vulnerable people we are supporting will be eligible to join that register. And then at the bottom, and finally, how digital champions can help. Okay, so we have got a little diagram here of the sort of work that we're doing. So as you will be aware, we sit within KCC, the financial hardship team, and obviously we're Digital Kent, delivering a number of projects. As I mentioned, I work closely with the NHS, and we're working on the Harbour Access Scheme, Connectivity Access Scheme, all schemes to sort of support residents to improve their digital inclusion and use digital in a positive way, so that they are kind of up to date and are able to use it equally with people that are more digital savvy. We have, I think it was back in, I want to say February, we were given funding from UKPN and SGN to deliver energy and digital support. So again, like I mentioned earlier, it's not about becoming an expert in all things energy. It's about using the skills that we already have as digital champions to support people to use sites like, I don't know, price comparison sites, looking at different schemes and initiatives that they can gain sort of extra support with, getting the best deal with their energy tariffs, paying their bills online, all those basic things that we're already supporting people with, but kind of with a bit of an energy hat on. As I mentioned, we're also working with the NHS, and we have been given funding to improve use of the NHS app as well. And one of the things that we're doing, as well as the digital hubs that we're already running in, we're going to be delivering some energy workshops, which we would ideally like some support from digital champions with. And they're going to be focused on energy support. So the people that we're supporting for different schemes, we're going to ask if they need any support with energy, and they're able to come along to those workshops, and we can sort of help them with some hints and tips, some of which I'll go through today, and other ones we will we'll mention kind of as the time goes on. So this is a bit of a wordy one, I'm afraid. This is a basic overview of what the UKPN have kind of put out as their digitalisation strategy. Everyone loves long words, like digitalisation strategy. So this is kind of why they have approached us to support them. So they are creating, as are lots of companies, a digital strategy built around digital inclusion. As you'll probably be aware, a lot of organisations, companies, things like that are going online. You know, paying their bills online is a very basic, but finding information, I mentioned earlier, price comparisons, all of that stuff's being going online, which is fantastic for those people that are able to do it. I mean, if you're anything like me and you remember to pay a bill when you're laying in bed at 11:30 at night and you don't have to ring up, that's amazing. It's really, really handy. But obviously there's a big cohort of people that are sort of missing out because they're not sort of digital people, basically. So The intention of this digital strategy is that nobody is left behind. That's one of the key sort of statements they keep saying. So they've built their plan, this strategy, around the following priorities. So maintaining and enhancing existing channels. So in offering enhanced channels for customers, stakeholders and employees who are digital capable, but also allowing people that are not to continue to use their existing channels. They want to ensure that new technology supports digital and non-digital users. So they're ensuring that any solutions they develop will not be to the detriment of non-digital users. They're endeavoured to provide alternative non-digital channels where possible, and build digital platforms to better manage and engage with vulnerable customers. So using digitalisation as a catalyst for better management and engaging with vulnerable customers. Now, I actually went to UK Power Network, I'm assuming it was their head office in Ipswich last week for a partnership collaboration event. It was very fancy. And we met, had a little tour of their customer service department, and it was vast. It was, these are the people that you ring up when you've got issues with your power. It went on forever. So it's really, really good to see that you can actually pick up the phone. You can still talk to a human. It's not all online, but it's about having that good balance of being able to access things, information and things online, but also having that human on the end of the phone as well. So they're really hot on that. So although they're trying to improve things, digitalizing things, they're also remembering there are a lot of people that are not able to access that. So it's about kind of just being aware of that. That was a little bit of an overview of why they're doing that. So this is what they class as their vulnerable customers, and you'll notice that a lot of them are kind of in line with people that we might support in our roles, and some of the projects that Digital can work on have these people in their kind of forefront of their mind when they're putting it together. So elderly people over 65, people with a lack of internet and digital skills, low English language skills, people on a low income, and lack of knowledge, understanding and confidence regarding digital. So those are what the UKPN classes their vulnerable customers, and that's just a bit of information, bit of a background, I guess. Okay, so hopefully this video is going to work. Let's see.
You're sharing with sound.
Nope. How do you do that?
You're gonna have to stop sharing and reshare.
1 second, everyone. Sorry.
So when you do share, it should say with sound.
Where? Oh, there. Sorry. Yeah, I see.
And then
share again.
Yeah.
Perfect. She's clever, this one, isn't she? If it works. There we go. Let's try again, guys.
If we're efficient with energy, we can enjoy the same levels of comfort or more while using less.
No, it's not working. Right. Because I'm on.
Where energy comes from,
right.
it costs something.
The sound on that.
You can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear the sound.
Brilliant.
And video. I don't know if the others on the call can, but yeah, it's working for me.
Perfect. Right, let's start it again then. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Efficiency means getting more for less. If we're efficient with energy, we can enjoy the same levels of comfort or more while using less. Wherever energy comes from, it costs something, in terms of money and in terms of natural resources. So even when using renewable energy, we should use it smartly. An energy-efficient option might appear more expensive at first, but over time it uses less energy and therefore saves money. Entire buildings can be made energy efficient. For instance, a well-insulated home costs less to heat or cool and wastes less energy. The European Union's energy labels can be found on many devices and household appliances. The colour-coded system is easy to use and helps you to save money. Energy efficiency. Smart for you, smart for the planet.
Lovely. Right, so that's just a bit of an overview. It explains it much better than I can about what energy efficiency is. You hear a lot of these words being thrown around, and sometimes you're like, what does that actually mean? And how's it really going to benefit me? But that's just a bit of an overview. Just an FYI, after this presentation, I'm more than happy to send it across to Michaela, who can share it with you guys. So if you want to have a look back on any of these slides, that's not a problem at all. Oh, there's some other videos you can watch as well. Okay, so just a couple of tips to save some energy and money, therefore money at home. A lot of these you will have heard of, you'll be aware of, but it's just a bit of a kind of reminder, I guess, for some of them. So don't leave appliances on standby or devices on charge when they don't need to be. Dry clothes outside during the nice weather. Now, if you live in the UK, that might be unlikely, but if you see a little bit of sun, you could get a good half hour, I reckon. So good luck with that. Use energy saving light bulbs. Like the video explained, they might be a little bit more expensive to start with, but they will save you money in the long run. So it's about working out whether that's appropriate. Turn taps off properly. Only boil enough water in the kettle for your needs. When washing up or drying by machine, try and fully load the appliance. Not overload it like my husband does, which is really annoying and it gets really creased, but you know, the right amount of load. Use a time on your central heating system and then close your curtains at dusk to stop heat escaping through the windows. I had an interesting conversation with somebody, I think it was they get their windows checked every year to check for the seals around them, because that makes a massive difference, and particularly in older houses where houses kind of jiggle around a little bit, there can quite often be a little tiny gap and it makes a massive difference with keeping the heat in, so or the cold air out, depending which way you look at it. So you know, little things like that, so keeping your curtains closed as well will definitely help that. So there's a couple of little tips there, and as I say, I'll share these as well. So each year consider switching suppliers. Would it save money? Is it worth looking at? And these aren't just for things for you to think about. These are conversations that you can have with people that you're supporting. Grants. So am I eligible for any grants to improve my home energy efficiency? Grants tend to be short-term things, so they're not always massively advertised, because they might be a grant that's available for 3 months, 2 months, something like that. But I'm going to show you a link to a couple of websites that have grants that are eligible for Kent residents in a second, that you can keep looking on that and have a little look and see if there's anything that you're eligible for or anyone that you're supporting. Payment, am I on the best and most appropriate energy deal or payment option? Is there any support that I'm eligible? And benefits, have my circumstances changed, so you might be eligible for different benefits. So a couple of things to just consider. And that all comes back to this kind of income maximization, we call it. So all those things are kind of relevant for this. I'm not going to click onto these websites now, and as I say, I'll share them, so do have a look. So we've got 2 different websites here that you can have a little look at and a little play around with, and these are really good ones for you to share with the people you support. So it's all about increasing the amount of money the client or yourself has coming in and maximizing the expenditure going out, minimizing, not maximizing, goodness me, it sounds like my children, minimizing the expenditure going out. So this is the benefits calculator I mentioned, so the KCC benefits calculator. So that will talk about all the sort of national grants and benefits and everything people are eligible, but also Kent specific ones. One of the ones that I'm talking about in particular is the Household Support Fund, which is open at the moment and will be potentially up until September, depending on how quickly it's being used. That is for, I think it's £100 either energy voucher or food voucher for people that are eligible. So all of that will be on this link. I'll talk a little bit more the Household Support Fund shortly. IE Hub is something that is a website that we are going to be collaborating with within Digital Kent, and it's worth you having a little look at that as well. What IE Hub does, it's free to use as a customer. You put your details in, so all your personal details go into it. It's completely safe and everything like that, obviously, and it will highlight, if anything, what you're eligible for. So there may be something in there, a grant, a benefit, something like that you didn't realise that you would be eligible for. It will highlight that. The other thing that IE Hub does is it reduces the amount of times that you need to input that information. So for example, you are looking into getting going on to some sort of benefit, or looking at changing your energy company or something that would make you have to put in your personal details and your financial details more than once. You can do it through IE Hub, and then those organisations can use the same information. So for yourself, you don't need to keep repeating and filling out the same form again and again and again from different websites. IE Hub does that for you. So it's a really useful tool. And as I say, we are in the process of working with them as Digital Kents, the people that we're supporting. We're going to be, I'm looking at Michaela because she might not know about this yet. Surprise. So we're going to be using it in our services as well, because as we mentioned before, we all work with vulnerable people, and it makes sense to sort of use a tool to simplify that for everyone. So that's IE Hub. And again, have a little look on that when you get a chance, and just sort of get your bearings of that. The Household Support Fund. So as I mentioned, grants as a whole can be a bit more difficult to kind of get information on because they are quite short term. The Household Support Fund is open at the moment, and we want to do a really big push for that for people that might be eligible. So it's £100. You get a virtual card on either energy or food, or you can have, I think, I want to say £40 food voucher and £60 energy voucher, something like that. And people can choose which one they would prefer to have. Residents can self-refer, or you can refer in on their behalf. And there's the link for it. So again, have a little look through that. The funding is up until September, I believe, but obviously there is a limit to how much funding we can give out. So if it hits that number before September, that will stop earlier. So if you are speaking to somebody and it comes out that, you know, they're on a low income or whatever it is, just sort of go, oh, do you know that you might be eligible for this extra funding, and refer them to that. There are national ones. It's a national offer, but we've got one specifically through Kent, so it's through that link there. The winter fuel payment, obviously it's not relevant at the moment, but it will come back. Oh, well, I say that, I assume it will come back towards the winter. And it's for people that are born before, what have I written, 1957. They could get between £250 or £600 towards their heating bills. So again, have a little look on that. That link, and just when it comes to the winter, I mean, to be honest, we could probably do with it now. It's very chilly at times, isn't it? Especially in the evening. You've got to love July, haven't you, in the UK? But yes, have a little look on that, and again, just have it at the forefront of your mind. Just trying to think, if you're supporting someone that might be eligible for that, absolutely get them to register for that. Okay, so again, these are just a couple of little things to consider. So, you know, about switching tariffs and suppliers. So do you have a landlord? Check whether your tenancy agreement allows you to switch tariff or supplier. Are you in debt with energy? Definitely speak to the energy provider if anyone is in debt with their energy, because there's lots of ways that they can support you with that. Will you be charged if you did leave, if you did decide to switch tariffs? If you're, again, supporting somebody to switch tariffs, have a little look at that. Will they be charged for it? How do you switch? So Citizen Advice and other suppliers displaying the Ofgem confidence code will offer impartial advice. So that's an important one. I'll show you what that little code looks like in a second. Oh, this is magical, this one. You can tell Sam put this slide together. I didn't do this one. It's a bit too clever for me. What to have with you. So if you are looking at switching tariffs and suppliers, make sure that people have their recent energy bill, and obviously any personal information they might need to complete that form. Can you manage online? So sometimes things are a bit cheaper if they do it all online. Using price comparison sites, you can do that, but some of the energy sites are only online. So again, if you're supporting someone that isn't particularly tech savvy or digital savvy, look at whether that's going to be sustainable for them to manage it. And then just inform people that they have a 14-day cooling off period. So if they do change their minds, they can do that. And there is the Ofgem confidence code. So if you are looking for advice and you're not sure what to say to people, have a little look. So Citizen Advice uses this. So if you want some advice on energy switching, anything like that, Citizen Advice has got some really, really good information, and it's worth referring your clients to. Okay, so the Priority Service Register. Now, this is something that I've, in all honesty, had no idea about. And now I'm telling everyone that is potentially relevant for, which actually is quite a lot of people. So I'll read through this first, and I'll tell you some sort of circumstances where it might be relevant to become or to join it, I should say. So if you are of pensionable age, so over 65, if you're disabled, chronically sick, or have sight or hearing difficulties, you can qualify for the suppliers for your suppliers priority service register. Now, the priority service register is across the board. It's not for just UKPN or just SGN or anything like that. It's for anybody, whatever energy supplier that you use. It allows you to become a priority if there is an emergency within your area. So, for example, you'll have free gas appliance safety check. You will have quarterly meter readings, which you'll have a bill nominee scheme, advance notice of supply interruption. So if your area is due to have some work being done, you will get priority in knowing that. Tailored communication for if you've got somebody with a hearing impairment or a sight issue, anything like that, you will have tailored communication. So bills will be sent in alternative formats, and you will get priority in an emergency. So again, at this event that I went last week, they talked a lot about the priority service register, and there were certain things that I'm, naive little me wasn't even considering when it comes to it. They do. So firstly, one of the things they've got is they've got contracts with not the healthiest option, but Uber Eats, Deliveroo, and Just Eat, I think, was it? If, for example, you have a power cut and it's going to last more than, I think they said 8 hours, something like that, they can get food to you. So they will ensure that you are fed if you are on the priority service register. They have contracts with Amazon, so they can do things like deliver blankets to you. They have these packs that are that have charging blocks in that are fully charged, and they have 5G in them, so you can get Wi-Fi. They have you will get a priority if you have, for example, medication that needs to be kept in the fridge. So if you're diabetic and you need insulin to be kept in the fridge, they will ensure that you've got a supply of energy, whether that's what do they call them? Big energy pack things. I've forgotten what they're called. I've written it down. I've forgotten what they're called. No, I don't think I have, but electricity pack thing, so that your fridge will work, and that the medication a generator, that's the one. Thank you very much. They will send a generator to your house as a priority. They also is there more on that? Sorry about this. This is the problem. I can't see my notes on my new laptop. I need to. No. All right. That's fine. So there's loads of different things, and one of the medication in the fridge I hadn't even considered. There's also people with what else do they say? Oh, sleep apnea. Somebody with sleep apnea, if the machine's not working and you have no power, that's a massive issue, isn't it? So they can prioritise that. They also can get you to hotels if you have a flood or something like that. There's loads of different things. So if you know anybody that is over 65, is disabled, chronically ill, or if they have a child under the age of 5 as well, that's another thing. This is why I'm really annoyed, because my children are now over the age of 5 and I didn't even know about this, but luckily it never came up. But it's worth just remembering that it's a thing. We've actually got some physical leaflets about this that you can have, and we can give out. So if you are doing any in-person events, I'll make sure Michaela's got some to give to you to then share with the people you support. For me, this was a bit of an eye-opener, and I ended up promoting it to pretty much everyone that I know that is within that demographic, because you never know, do you? And it would be really useful to know that you're going to get priority. So there's a little bit of information about that. Oh, here you go. This is what I've just said. So people over 65, children, families with children under 5, anyone with a disability or facing physical or mental health difficulties, anyone dependent on electricity to store medicine or operate medical equipment, anyone whose first language is not English. There you go. Knew it was there somewhere. And those dealing with life-changing events, circumstances such as bereavement. So anyone like that can be put onto the priority service register. And there we go. So if you are a QR person, feel free to scan that now. If not, there's the information about that, and we can certainly share that after this session. Okay, so what support can digital champions offer? Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's not about becoming experts in the field of energy. We're not going to test you. We are not going to be giving out little pop quizzes. I mean, Michaela might, but it won't be up to me. It won't be my doing. So it's just sort of things to consider. So consider what additional support the people you support may be eligible for. We've spoken a few about it today. Support people to compare tariffs online. So again, if you speak to somebody and they mention that they're struggling with their energy bills, you can be like, do you know what, we could go through that now. Do you want some support with it? support clients to access grants they may be eligible for. We can keep you up to date with things like when the winter fuel payment comes out, when the household support fund is sort of ending. We can share that with you and just let you know if there's any other grants that we hear of. We can share that with you to just kind of inform people that you're supporting. Support people to sign up for the Priority Service Register. You can do that online, but in the leaflets that we've got, there's literally just like a little free post thing that you complete and send off. All of this we can get across to you. Provide tips to reduce energy consumption at home, which we've gone through, and I'm sure you know more than I do as well, with some other tips and things. Just another little any things like that. If you know of any tips, in fact, feel free to share them with us and we can pass them on. And let us know if you have given support during your time as a volunteer. One element of what we have to do, and as part of our funding with the UKPN, is we have to feedback to them to sort of tell them what we've done. We do it within our team. We'll say, oh, we supported this client with, they were referred on the Harbour Access Scheme, but we also supported them with, I don't know, signing up to the Priority Service Register or whatever. If you have any of those situations where you're mentioning anything to do with energy, please do just ping us an email, and we can certainly feed that back to them. It's really beneficial, and the more information we get back from you, the more we can hand. If you've got any I don't know, stories or case studies where you feel like you've made a massive difference, doesn't need to be an essay, just a couple of sentences, small paragraph, send it to us and we would love to share that and hear about it. And if you ever need any more information about it, then feel free to ask Michaela and we can get back to you. I think that is the end of my rambling. Is there any questions? I will stop sharing so I can see any questions that come in. Does anybody have any questions? Oh my goodness.
I have a question.
I don't want a question from you. What's your question, Michaela?
First of all, I just want to check that everyone can hear me, because I'm muted on my laptop, so I'm using the mic.
She's about 2 feet away.
Laptop. But no, in terms of it's very full on, and some of these things, I have to admit, is very good for me, and to be refreshed about some of this information, because some of the things that you mentioned are quite logical tips, but it's just easy for people to sometimes forget about doing certain things, such as switching off appliances or not boiling the full kettle, which I always do, and my partner always hates me for it. Is there, in terms of leaflets that we can distribute? You mentioned that there is part of it for the priority service, which is brilliant, and I think is something that we could all benefit from, especially living in times where climate change is such a big issue, and hopefully won't get to that point that there are going to be long hours, blackouts or shortages. But we have seen in the past that even in case when COVID was happening, a lot of people were struggling, so we never know. I might be a bit paranoid here, but I think it's something that is worth knowing, and I think a lot of people that come to our services for other things, they might really benefit from knowing or being registered to it. So yes, you said you've got the leaflet for that. Do you have a leaflet as well which maybe states what are the tips? So, you know, it's helpful for people, especially maybe older people or people with children, have it stuck onto the fridge, let's say. And just have it there as a reminder that you can do that to improve your energy bills or
we've got so as I say, we've got the Priority Service Register leaflet which came directly from UKPN, and it's sitting in our cupboard upstairs, but our program manager has created a energy booklet. It's got, I don't know, 10 pages. A lot of it is from the information that I've shared today, so the hints and the tips. It might be that you have a small pile of them, maybe 10 or something, and you hand it out to people that you're supporting, like you say, for them to use on their fridge or whatever it might be. I don't know if we've got any events coming up where we're in person with people, or we need to look at that. I'm not sure if we better post out, but
yeah, I mean, all digital champions, and this is just a reminder, all digital champions can order some leaflets to be delivered directly at your own place. So it's just a matter of making sure that those leaflets are available for you to order. In a minute I will show you as well, if you are not sure where to find the link to order these leaflets, I will show you, as it is within the volunteering opportunities link. So in case you didn't know, I just happened the other day, I was having a chat with one of the volunteers and he had no idea that you could actually order leaflets. And it's great because then the more we can spread the word around about these as well as other services is like communication is key. So
it's all about simplifying the process as well, and you know, if the information is there in a booklet, it's not stuff that you need to necessarily remember, but it's there. We can certainly share that with you. So
yeah, sorry, Michaela, you said about ordering leaflets. I wasn't aware that we could order leaflets that were anything other than to do with our digital hubs in terms of advertising them. I didn't know that there were other leaflets available, like the sort of, I don't know, NHS or Power Networks and things like that.
Yeah, I think it's still work in progress. That's why I want to check first if it's there, and if not, I'm gonna ask to be put there, because I think especially now that we're gonna, as Becky was mentioning about workshops, which we are gonna start delivering. We were waiting for this training to happen and to have a bit more clarity and explaining what have we got to do with energy. So once we're going to start delivering those workshops, it's key that every volunteer can have access to those leaflets. So I will make sure that they are available on the form.
Yeah. And just another thing, actually, Becky, those slides were really good, really informative. I'm just wondering, when you send everything out sort of to people post this meeting, rather than just sending the recording of the meeting here, will you just send out the presentation slides on their own? Because if I know that I'm going to, if there's one arranged in Swale where I am, if I know that I'm going to a session like that, it would be really helpful to just go through those slides.
Absolutely, yeah, no, totally, yeah.
There's so many good highlighted points there, bullet points, and you know, the websites look excellent as well. Obviously, I know we can't click on links necessarily in the slides, but you know, you can prepare a bit for the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely, no worries at all. Yeah, we'll send that across to you. I'll get it across to you.
I'll make sure that if the links are not available through the presentation that we send over, I will make sure that I include all of the links in the email so everyone has them there, and you can either save them on your laptop in a folder or just start them in your browser.
And as I say, today's presentation slides as well, because they were you know, a good sort of précis of everything.
Definitely, yeah. I've just started. I've been covering a hub in Tunbridge Wells recently, and if anything comes up from the residents, I always take some of the slides just to show them, because sometimes even having that visual of what we're talking about, it really helps. So every time, and I'm still chasing some to have some others like from previous presentations, but I'm trying to put them together and to send them over. And if you ever feel like you require some support and you say, actually, I've been requested from some of the clients I'm supporting specifically about this topic, you can always ask us if we have anything, and if we do, we're happy to share it with you, so you have it there for your own use, and as well when you're supporting residents.
Okay.
Oh, that's brilliant. I know, hopefully we were expecting more people to, well, I was hoping that more people would turn up, but hopefully this will be, I think more people will be more interested in this as well going forward in the months as we maybe starting going towards autumn and winter. So we might be running another presentation at some point, or maybe people, I will be sending out the tools to everyone. So if there is need for more clarifications or for rerunning this session, we will be rerunning it. But it's lovely just seeing even just 3 people can make a big difference. And I think, as I said, word of mouth is what we want. We just want people to be aware of what's out there and just sharing the knowledge. So yeah, this is a bit shorter than I expected as well. But if you guys don't have any other questions, feel free to go. I hope this was helpful and gave you a bit of more knowledge or insight on what we can do as digital champions and just as people really in our own communities. And thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much.
It's great. Thanks, Becky. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.